G'day folks, James Michael here from Justified Talent. I wanted to shoot a quick video just to have a chat with those of you who are currently candidates or are potentially going to be candidates applying for roles sometime over the next 12 months. When I kicked off Justified Talent, one of the things that I committed myself to was using as much technology as I possibly could to be able to both speed up the process for my clients, but also to make it a richer experience for them as well. And technology has certainly allowed us to do that in the recruitment industry these days. However, what I've noticed in recent time is a number of you seem to be reluctant to engage with the technology. And in particular, one of the things that I use quite heavily is video. Quite usually, once people have come through an initial screening process, I'll ask them to undertake a 3-minute video show reel, if you like, just to kind of give us some sense of who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in, but as a way of presenting you, the human being, as opposed to a paper version of you, traditionally called the resume. And what I've had in just recent time is a number of people who seem to be very reluctant to do that. Now, some of that is probably stage fright, some of it's probably performance anxiety, and I get that, I respect that. I really want to encourage you though to just try and overcome that, particularly as a salesperson. In this day and age, we're in one where video conferences are the norm. It's not necessarily always an expectation that people will be in attendance at meetings. There's Google Hangout, there is Skype, there is Zoom. There's all sorts of platforms out there these days that are designed to facilitate people having conversations and meetings without physically being in the same room. What I'm also doing is using a platform which is recruitment purposed, so that when I actually get to the in-depth interview, again, I don't need you to come to my office. As a consequence of that, I don't need to have great big expensive offices in the city, which means I can keep my costs down, which means that I can keep my fees down to my clients. Technology allows that to happen. And again, what I'm experiencing is people who are reluctant to do so. I've had one gentleman just recently absolutely insist that he's not going to meet with me online. I can either meet with him physically or on the telephone. And well, unfortunately, that kind of paints a bad picture, because what it suggests is those of you who are uncomfortable with this may well therefore be uncomfortable with technology. You can't afford to be uncomfortable with technology in the year 2018. Uber was something that came along a few years ago, brand new. Nobody had ever thought of the idea of riding in an individual person's car in lieu of a taxi. It's one of the great raging success stories of our time. Same with Airbnb. Who would ever think that we'd go and sleep in somebody's spare bedroom rather than a hotel? Again, one of the great business success stories of our time. Times are changing. Things are evolving. And so is the need for those of us in business and those of you who are applying for roles to evolve as well. I really want to encourage you to try and get comfortable with the idea of working online and making yourselves more readily available to meet in a format like this. Anyway, for what it's worth, just wanted to share that with you. I know it can be difficult, but I want to encourage you to try and adopt this new way of interface. Cheers.